Remember we talked about this dialog box launcher? So that means there's more. So if you click on that, that's going to open another menu where you can get a little bit more detailed with, say, your voting buttons, with the importance of the email. Is it important, normal, high, low? What is it? I don't know that I would ever send an email in a low importance. I just think that's weird. Like, why would you do that? Like, everything I send is important. Don't you know who I am? You know, right? It's either going to be normal, or if it's high importance, if you set an email as high importance, what happens is on the other end, that person is going to get your email with a red exclamation point next to it. And so that's going to kind of flag them to say, this is an important email. You should read this now. And then your sensitivity, right? Is there sensitive information in this email that really should only go to the person? Yes or no, right? So is it personal, private, confidential? So you can set the sensitivity of that email as well. And then this is where your voting buttons are. And so the voting buttons might be something like, you know, like I said, like pick a location. Well, in here, you would choose that location, right? You would type in Fort DeSoto, comma, the beach, comma, the main event. But if you look at the end of that, there's a little drop down where the voting buttons are. And these are some standard responses. So if you're trying to get somebody to approve something or reject something or say yes or no to something or yes, no, or maybe. So these are standard replies, but you can create your own. And notice the semicolon in the middle of the replies. That's what separates your replies. No spaces. So approve, semicolon, reject, no spaces. So when they get the email, they're going to be able to pick approve or reject. If you put a comma in between, then it's going to act like it's one response, approve, comma, reject. So you're not really going to know if they're actually approving or rejecting it. This is where I think a lot of people got confused and why they came out with the polls. The voting buttons were great when that's all we had, but a lot of times they didn't work because of that. You know, they didn't know how to put the responses in there that they wanted to get back from people. And then here you've got your, you know, read request, read receipt request, and delivery receipt request. And then right here, your delivery options. This is where you can schedule the delivery of the email. So let's just say it's Friday at 5 o'clock, 5:30. You're in the office a little bit later than everybody else. Everybody's gone. You send the email now, and then it's going to get buried into their inbox over the weekend. So you can set this up to only deliver, do not deliver before whatever Monday is, right? June 6th, before 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. or whatever. So when that person gets into the office Monday morning, this email could quite potentially be right at the top of their inbox. And then does the email expire after a certain date and time? So this is kind of nice too. So if there is sensitive information in the email, like a social security number or something, which don't ever do that, you guys. Don't send a social security number via email or via text either. But you can have it expire. So if it is high sensitivity, confidential, personal, whatever, then you can have it expire after, you know, a certain amount of days or after, you know, a certain date and time. And what happens is if you do the expire, then poof, it goes out of their inbox. They will not, after that date, they will not be able to find that email. So if they even do a search for that email, they won't be able to find it, which is kind of nice. Sometimes it just depends on what it is, but I can definitely see a reason for that. Do you want to save a copy of the sent message? This actually should be checked at all times. So when you send an email, as long as it doesn't get stuck in your outbox, right? If you send the email and it sends successfully, then that ends up in your sent folder. And I will tell you, I go to my sent folder all the time to make sure that an email has actually been sent. So that is critical for me. And I would imagine when you guys get on the job, you're going to need that. And that is checked by default. So you don't really have to do anything there. Just keep that checked. And then down here, you can add more contacts to the email right here. So if you click on contacts, this is going to take you out to your contacts list where you can add more people. Categories, you can categorize your email into a specific category. So it's nice. And when you see that dialog box launcher, you can close out of that menu. When you see that dialog box launcher, that means, and I'm pretty sure we did show you that in PowerPoint. We did definitely talk about this in Word, but in PowerPoint, in Word, Excel, Publisher, when you're in a tab and you've got the groups of commands, sometimes you'll see that dialog box launcher. Sometimes you won't. So right here in the themes group, there isn't one because this is it. Everything from that themes menu is right here. There's no need for a dialog box launcher. There's no need for another menu. But for here in the tracking group, there is. And obviously you can see that there was much more in the way of options.